The police chief in Rochester, New York, has stepped down along with his command staff following days of protest over the death of Daniel Prude. Prude, as you may recall, died a week after this confrontation with police in March captured him on body cam video. He was naked at the time and appeared to be suffering a mental health crisis. The demonstrations have focused not just on this incident, but how long it took to come to light. Prude's family filed a federal lawsuit yesterday alleging a cover-up. Jericka Duncan has been following this story. Jericka, good morning to you. Why is the chief stepping aside now?
Good morning. Well, you know, this police chief had been with the police department for 20 years, and he accused his critics of trying to destroy his character and his integrity over how he handled the investigation into Daniel Prude's death. Now, the mayor maintains that she did not ask the chief to step down.
I can assure this community that I am committed to instituting the reforms necessary in our police department.
Rochester Mayor Lovely Warren confirming Tuesday that Police Chief LaRon Singletary, along with several top officers, had given up their leadership positions.
I know that there are many questions, but this just occurred. And honestly, I do not have the answers.
The outgoing chief said he would not stand for, quote, the mischaracterization and the politicization of the actions he took in his handling of Daniel Prude's death investigation.
On my mama blood, they flipping over in her grave. I mean that. God bless y'all, man.
Last week, the family released the body camera footage 5 months after Prude's death. The next day, Mayor Warren suspended the 7 officers she says were involved in the arrest. A week of protests has turned Rochester into the latest flashpoint of summer demonstrations over racial injustice following the death of George Floyd. Prude was pinned to the ground with a spit hood on his head for about 3 minutes. 7 days later, he died. His death was ruled a homicide by asphyxiation, and the medical examiner listed the hallucinogen PCP as a contributing factor.
What we want is for our police officers to act like professionals, and that's what we're seeking to bring about reforms that professionalize the Rochester Police Department.
The Prude family lawsuit alleges the police department tried to cover up the true nature of Prude's death.
But if you told her that a person OD'd while being arrested, did you know that he was being held down and all the other stuff?
Yes.
Singletary is the latest in a list of police chiefs to resign or retire during the protests that have swept the country. Renee Hall, the first black woman to lead the Dallas Police Department, submitted her resignation Tuesday. She had been criticized for a spike in crime and her handling of the protests. In Kentucky, Yvette Gentry will come out of retirement and become the first black woman to lead Louisville's police department. She'll head a beleaguered department's handling of the killing of Breonna Taylor. The 26-year-old EMT was shot and killed by police during a no-knock raid at her apartment.
When we're wrong, I'm going to stand here like a woman, a grown woman, and tell you we made mistakes.
Now, the police union in Rochester, New York, stands behind those 7 officers who were suspended, saying that they were following training. As for that lawsuit from the Prude family, they named the city of Rochester, Chief Singletary, and the officers involved in the arrest of Daniel Prude. Anthony?
All right, Jericka, thank you. This shift in police departments is very interesting here.
Yeah, I think every time you always hear training, in many cases, training is the go-to. And I think that's what's so frustrating to people, because does training say you just leave your humanity at the door? The fact that that guy was buck naked in the street says instantly that there's an issue here. And it's snowing outside.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
It's snowing outside, and his relatives had called for help. And they end up with their brother, their father, their son now dead. It just makes no sense. And it took so long for the tape to come out. A lot of questions in that case.
Could not agree more.